Well, welcome back to the Terribly Vexed Podcast. Justin?
Sorry, I was looking at the thing. Want to try it one more time?
Nope, I like that one.
We can put this back. We can put this together. Fine. Welcome. I'm Justin.
Hey, I'm Josh.
All right.
What's going on?
Hey, you know, we're just doing a little intro to this lovely interview we had with Ty. Should I redo that?
No. We'll keep that.
Okay.
Every bit of this.
All right.
So we're just going to be... it ended up being close to 3 hours, so we're going to make it a two-parter.
That was the thing. We were shooting for an hour tops with Mr. Ty Black, and it ended up being almost 3 hours.
No game plan, just kept bouncing from one topic to the next.
Just a chit-chat.
Yeah.
We covered it all, I think.
Yeah.
We talked about a lot. I got a nice list here of things that we covered pretty thoroughly, I think. We got to the bottom of
I've never met
everything.
Tylen before.
No. He's been on the podcast before, but you never met him. I did like my little solo
Halloween
interview with him, whatever.
And so we just bounced around from one topic to the next, and it just kept going and going and going.
Yeah.
So we're going to make a two-parter out of it. What were some of those topics, by the way?
Well, I think we opened the show right up, but this is according to my notes. We talked about sleep paralysis.
Exciting.
Yeah, we started talking about the vaccine, and then Ty was in the Marines, and his vaccines that he got that he didn't know what the hell he was taking. Remember?
Yeah.
The cold bubble on the skin that they injected him with God knows what.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Skinwalker Ranch. I'm just going to go through COINTELPRO, the insurrection, the Crusades, kill them all and let God sort them out, and then the Catholic Church and the Baptist Church. And then we took a little break ski, which I think is where we're going to end the first episode, right?
Yeah, I think so. This was, and I think I mentioned this, our version of Open Lines.
Yeah, that's how we open. That's why it's titled Open Lines and Open Minds on Open Lines. That's what it was.
Just getting a different perspective is all.
Yeah. You know, you got to talk to people from every walk of life. We want to hear it all. So
that's what this was.
Yeah.
And we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, let's get going with part one, eh?
Part one it is.
All right, here we go. Josh, today's an extra special day. We have a special guest with us. He's been on the podcast before. If you go back to the Ghostacular episode,
we encourage everyone to do that.
We discussed ghosts with him. His name is Tylen Black. Welcome.
Tylen Black.
Thank you guys so much for having me back. Yeah, and great pronunciation the first time. I love that.
Thank you very much. And a lot of people say Tyler.
Or I get Tillen a lot as well if it's in writing. But hence, you just call me Ty, though.
Yeah. Ty is the...
Ty.
Ty's the preferred nomenclature.
Not Tyler.
Yeah.
I can do it. I know I can do it.
So, I think we should start right off.
What are we doing today here? Why is Tylen here today?
Here's the thing. I've worked with Ty for many years now. How many years have we worked together? Yeah, you don't work together anymore, but we did for 4 years.
Yep, right. We have 4 summers. Yep.
And we've had many a conversation about you name it. I think.
Lot.
Yeah.
Lots of different things.
Yes.
Lots of topics.
A lot of conspiracies, politics,
life in general.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
okay.
Ty's got a very interesting take on things. Some might say crazy and insane.
I've been called that.
Some say hilarious, like me. I think you're a funny guy.
Oh, thank you.
And
I think so too.
It's always interesting.
I think you've got it.
Nice. All right. Hey.
That special little,
Yeah.
That thing.
I can already sense something extra.
Hey.
Anyway.
Yeah, Josh doesn't take to new people like this.
No,
he's like a shy dog.
Very negative, very angry, very standoffish.
That's true.
But I like you. I like you a lot.
I'm honored. Thank you.
Even though, yeah. In our last episode,
got
and
that other thing going.
Yeah, this is all in jest.
I wasn't born with it, to be fair.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, you're cool.
Yeah. What we're talking about is you are a Jewish fella.
Of the Jewish faith, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
This is going to make me sound bad.
Well, that's what I was about to say. It's all in jest. Nobody really cares.
I know that. You guys are joking. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm talking the people, the folks at home need to know that we're just
the listeners need
goofing.
It's all in fun.
Yeah,
It is.
So this is kind of like, I guess maybe one of our, well, you could make it sort of comparable to like a Coast to Coast and Open Lines episode, right?
Open lines.
Open Lines. We like to get people in here occasionally, share our views, hear other things, get other opinions.
We have open minds on open lines. That's what I'm going to call this one.
I love it.
Wow.
All right. What
Well
do you think?
done, sir.
Thank
It's
you.
like a
Linguist.
I was thinking about this on the way over too. It's like a guest painter on Joy of Painting with Bob Ross. He'd have remember he'd have another painter on, so you could learn some new skills, something else.
Little different takes on.
So you're not always just hearing from us, you know.
Yeah.
You know what the hell I think. You know
Right.
what I'm thinking about everything.
Yeah.
By this point, 26 episodes in, now 27, and pretty much Justin too, I guess, for the most part.
Yeah. Even though right before we were recording, you said that it's a struggle to get me on your side sometimes about certain things.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little while.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Let's get to it.
It'll be a good time to talk about it today.
Okay.
So anyway,
let me ask you this: just before we get going into the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You were on earlier talking about your ghost encounter, teensy at Blackberry Farm. We can say
Yes.
Blackberry Farm now. I don't care.
Oh, nice. All right. Yeah. Old BBF.
Have you had any other ghostly encounters, or only at the farm?
I mean, not that I know of personally. I mean,
Family members?
I mean, not that I know of.
just there.
Really, just there. But I'm kind of on the beliefs. If you don't look for it, you ain't gonna find it. But if you look for it, you're gonna find it. Because hell, I was at Blackberry for 3 years, and then it was only when I started looking for it and hearing some other people's stories, it's when it kind of happened back to back to me. It's kind of like, you see a Volkswagen on the road, and all of a sudden, every other car is a Volkswagen.
Yeah.
So I
Or you
think
just started paying attention to it.
you can't stop. Yeah, you're right. You can't stop seeing it. So I think recently I just haven't really been looking for it. Just
And you don't work there anymore.
no, sir, I don't.
Okay.
What was interesting about your encounter, though, is it was you and another fella,
Yes,
and you both
same
saw
experience.
the same thing,
Yes,
which is odd in a ghost.
That
Well,
would
it's
sort of
comforting.
confirm, yeah.
It's nice because if you're by yourself trying to explain to somebody, they can only, oh, that's crazy. But no, having someone word for word same story, it just helps confirm it a little bit, at least with us.
Yeah, but it's like a third presence, if you will, on that day.
Oh,
Go on back to the
Episode
previous
26, yeah. Check
Yeah.
that out. We encourage you to go back there to the archive
Yeah, I'm on a roll today.
from a week ago. You had nothing. You've had nothing there.
0 ghost experience.
let me ask you this: where you look? Well, I will say, to be fair, that all mine, minus that Boulevard one with the girl falling down the stairs, that was broad daylight. But a lot of it was at night. And as you know, really, as groundsmen, it's kind of hard to be there at night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
But that it doesn't always, that's not a thing, though. It doesn't have to be at night. Like if certain things happened, whatever time of day, it could have happened.
Oh yeah.
If something's replaying, I know that's one of the theories. If something's replaying in a certain time, it happened at a certain place. It doesn't have to be, because I told you about going to the Lakeshore Mental. Did I mention that on this?
I think
On any
so.
one of these episodes?
Yeah.
Maybe the ghost. Did I talk about that at all? Maybe I don't recall.
I don't.
Anyway.
I remember you bringing it up because I pushed out that night and left.
That's right. You were
remember?
invited to
Yeah,
that.
I got creeped out, and I
you know
hightailed
about
it
that?
out of there.
I don't know about the mental hospital. Where is this at now?
That's on North Shore over there. All the buildings have been torn down now, but there were a bunch of the original, the Mental Health Institute over there. The original one's still up at the top, up there in the park.
Okay.
But now the park's been completely redone and renovated, and they've added like playgrounds and stuff like that. But all the buildings are gone. But just prior to them being torn down, I went in there with a few dudes from work, and we did hear some shit in those buildings. We did. And it was pretty weird. This was during the day, which is why I say that.
Oh.
This wasn't at night. So that's why I don't think things, of course, a mental health institute, an insane asylum, as they used to be called, like this place was. It was just everything that happened there was bad. And it was
Yeah.
notorious. It was notorious for being like most mental health, facilities, hospitals, known for being,
Just not being great.
treating their people, poorly, the patients, locking people down in beds, putting them in essentially like dungeons and stuff. So lots of bad memories, lots of bad energy
Yeah.
at that place.
Let me ask you this: was it like voices or just like stuff being objects being tampered with?
This one instance, it was we had gone into I guess it was the basement, sort of like the I guess you could almost say like the boiler room. These are old buildings, okay?
Yeah.
And it was a loud crash, a loud bang that sent us out. Okay, it was very loud, and then we also heard like footsteps upstairs in one of the. And there was nobody there because we were working our way up the stairwell going up to that floor, and we looked in all those rooms. Now, it could have been a homeless person or something in there. This is not, none of these buildings were off to the public. Everybody could get in there and walk around in those things.
Okay.
But we didn't see anybody, and we were making our way up. So we heard footsteps, noise. We heard all kinds of things. And this was during the day. Went back at night a second time. Was that the one?
That was where I...
And heard nothing. There was nothing.
Interesting.
And took a lot of pictures in there, and like I said, all those buildings are gone now. But so I have experienced that.
Okay. Yeah.
In a mental health institute, and of course that, like I said, that particular hospital, like most of them, has a notorious past. They did like a weird, what was that, like the 1960s or 1970s? It was a famous. They went in there with like a local news crew went in there. To unbeknownst to the staff at the hospital, and all of these people were being just mistreated, and of course they documented all that stuff. So, it was a whole thing. I don't remember what it was called, but it was well known and famous. Their midnight raid kind of a thing.
Oh, okay.
They went in, all people were literally just handcuffed to beds and tied down and stuff like that. So pain and misery and suffering can leave an indelible imprint on a location, I think.
When was that roughly? Like when they bust in there and witness all that?
That was in the 60s or 70s. Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody's not listening.
Here's the thing. I was
I know
adjusting
who is
some levels.
listening.
This is how it is. All the time.
All the time.
I'm sorry. Hey, you know what? I'm just going to go. You guys chit-chat. I was trying to make sure this damn thing sounds good.
Buddy, I think it sounds
great.
Smooth as butter.
You don't even have headphones on.
I don't need to. I hear it.
I like it. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I just wanted to make it clear for the
Absolutely.
folks at home what year it happened in.
Right.
For God's sake.
Well, they were listening, and they heard.
Right.
You're telling me not one person had to swerve a little bit to miss a raccoon or something in the road and possibly missed it?
Late night drive. Yeah, they're heading into work.
Justin, we appreciate how hard you're working.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So that's my one experience. You have none.
I have none.
Outside of that, any place in life.
You don't even have like you're by yourself. Because I'll tell you what, like I wouldn't count this as a ghost experience, but you're by yourself, and for some reason you feel something looking at hair, the back of the neck raises up, but nothing's there.
Yeah,
not even an animal, but you feel something's kind of off.
I feel that on a nearly daily basis. If I have to go out to the car at night to get something, I creep myself out. But I think that's all in my head.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I'm always creeped out. I'll be just sitting around doing something, and I just quickly, just a quick little what if I look up right now and there's a shadow person standing there, and I creep myself out. But that has never happened once.
Shadow
person
reacted heavily to that.
Yeah,
let's work on that just a second.
I've seen shadow people. I would say I don't know if they were or not, but all the time
out of the periphery of your
like especially in my own house at night, and I have 2 cats. I know it ain't them. They're both dead asleep on the bed, but like something will just flash by, and it makes me jump, and and it's like, all right, whatever. Maybe it's just me, the little floaty in my eye, maybe, but man, even since a little kid, I've noticed that just like real quick flashes of just something, and I don't know, maybe my eyelid got stuck a little too close together, and it's opening up, and I overthinking it, but shadow people or whatever you want to call them. I have multiple experiences with those. It's just.
Have you ever experienced what is that, sleep paralysis?
Yes, once.
I have like twice. Once was really bad, and then the second time, because I knew how to get out of it. I know you're supposed to like work your fingers slowly and start moving your hands and just kind of inch your way,
Ugh.
So I've done that twice. And the first time, which I think was the first time, the bad time, there was that feeling of the presence. Watching you, standing over you.
Yeah.
A presence in the room kind of a thing.
Yes. Was it above you?
It was just in the room.
Just in the room. Okay.
Just in the room. And but I can safely say twice. I've experienced it twice. Once was really heavy, and then once was not so bad. But it was, I could tell I was paralyzed, the paralysis part.
Right.
But I was awake. And then the first time was just like terrifying.
Yeah, it's horrifying. Yeah,
but in 43 years, twice is not that. It's not a
it's too many
common occurrence. And how many times? You once?
Once, thank God.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And I was young. I was probably 16 or 17. I'll never forget it. I was in bed, and I know about the finger. So I just prayed intensely.
You say you did or did not know about the finger trick?
I didn't know about the finger trick. I just remember like being, and then I was awake. Could move my body, but I saw like kind of like a shadowy presence above me, and I felt it right above me in intense pressure, and I was so terrified. All I could do was just think. I tried speaking, couldn't speak, but I just intensely prayed to please, whatever this is, make it stop.
Who were you praying to?
God.
Okay.
God, Yahweh.
Just checking. Checking.
Jesus, whatever you want to call it, but yeah, it's
Yahweh.
Yahweh, Yeshua.
Okay. All right.
The Yahweh.
Tribe.
There it is. You guys ever hear of exploding head syndrome? I've had experiences with that a couple times. It's like when you're just laying there going to sleep, a little drowsy.
Making this up.
I swear to God, I just googled it to make sure. What is it called? It's called exploding head syndrome. EHS.
EHS.
And it's when you just hear a loud banging, clanging sound in your head, like it wakes you up and you think something fell in your house or something like that.
Never heard of that before.
That's a thing. I have experienced that, but that's nothing.
But no sleep paralysis.
No
sleep paralysis.
That seems like an absolutely terrifying. You were fully awake in your body.
I was full, like I woke up and I was fully awake, but I could not move my body. It was the most terrifying thing, and I prayed. I'd never prayed harder than that in my life. And that night, I was, please, whatever this is, make it go away.
I did not pray when I had mine.
Yeah.
But I looked up what you're supposed to do to get out of it for the next time if it were to happen again, and it did. And they basically just say you start moving your toes, moving your fingers.
Little by little.
Because you can't move anything. It is the weirdest sensation in the world to be laying there and just, everything is completely numb. It's like like everything's been numbed.
Your eyes open?
Your eyes are
your
open.
eyes are open.
You can move your eyes around.
You can move your eyes around.
But your head stuck where, at least for me personally, my head was stuck.
I couldn't move my head.
Dude, it was nothing. Just eyeballs only. And
Jesus.
It kind of reminds me of like when people go under surgery and the anesthesia wears off, but like you're awake, but you can't.
Right,
you can't speak, whatever. Oh, that's probably the second most terrifying thing I've ever think of.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
That's real bad.
There's a movie about that, isn't there? Hayden Christensen is in it. I forgot what it's called, but he somehow has to get out of his body to solve a mystery. Who knows what? It looks dumb.
Operation
dumb.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah. But I've never experienced anything close to that. I've woken up like full body tingling for whatever reason. I don't know. Like incredible full body feels like I'm like my whole body's shaking and I'm just tingling, but I'm not.
Your blood pressure.
Maybe I might have just been on the brink of a stroke.
Forget a pill that day, maybe, or something, right?
Yeah. Who knows?
Forgot your meds.
Yeah, but
or maybe you were sleeping on something wrong.
Do you have nightmares preceding the paralysis, or you just wake up and?
I just woke up. And I'm just laying there.
Yeah, I can't.
Staring at the ceiling.
Yeah, I don't think I have. I couldn't tell you the time or dream.
Yeah.
I just woke up and there you are in the position.
I don't think I have any I don't think I've ever seen a shadow person. I couldn't really say.
You've seen the things out of the corner of your eyes, though.
Yeah.
Like driving at night, which I'm driving at night, early morning a lot. I have seen that before. Which, you can kind of write that off as being your headlights running across something a weird way, possibly.
Yeah.
A glare on the glass.
Yeah, possibly. But to say that I've seen a figure, like a full figure of some sort out of the periphery and where it made me turn and there's nobody there. Where it fooled me into thinking that somebody actually was there. I can't really say that I've experienced that. But, I guess the sleep paralysis kind of sensation. You're in a dark room, so it simulates kind of a shadowy figure that's off.
Right,
I don't know if
it could just be,
I don't know, so.
That's what they say alien abduction is, too, is a form of sleep paralysis. You're half dreaming. It's scary as hell.
It could be.
Yeah, but I've also heard...
MK Ultra.
MK Ultra.
Yep.
I think that's a big part of it.
Yep, huge. I believe that as well. not to necessarily take attention off of this podcast, but Joe Rogan had a clip. There was a
Who's that?
We don't mention him.
Who is that anyway?
Shit, sorry guys.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Demonetized.
Yeah, he's he's a relatively new podcaster, I
It's
think.
got a little. Yeah, it's a little podcast.
Yes.
It was like Bo Dogan, I think his name was, and he had like this female psychiatrist on, and her theory was like it's. And again, it's a theory, but it kind of makes sense to me. And she's like, what was these elements? You have people it's a dark and all of a sudden bright light. There's these weird people above you. You're being operated on. It's cold. It's a very intense. What is this? Birth. Perhaps it's a locked-in memory of when you're being born. You're going from a warm, dark place. Now it's cold and bright. You have these weird things over you. It's a very traumatic experience, and it's just a subconscious memory that's being relived in this dream. And so people, it's so vivid and real. I was abducted when it really was just a very intense, subconscious, one of your first memories being
like a reenactment. Almost.
Reenactment, yeah. And not everybody has it. Like I've never had that personal experience, but some people, the brains are wired differently. And,
Nor I.
But
That's interesting.
It's a theory, but like it kind of matches up a little bit. It's very. But I
heard another theory. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say. I would never tell someone who had that up and swear up and down that it was you just had your birthing dream. When they swear up and down, I was cut open.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. I was like, oh man, that sucks.
Birthing dream. Never heard that before.
Yeah.
See, we're already learning something new.
There you go. Well, I heard another theory about abductions, which was some repressed memories of molestation as a child.
I think I've ever heard of that one before.
Like you're laying in your bed at night, door opens in the hallway, bright silhouette of a person, and then bad things happen, and then you repress those memories, and it's kind of coming out in sleep as a terrifying memory of aliens. And
perhaps that sort of memory could be awoken in something like hypnotherapy.
That's true. That is true. And what's odd?
What is odd? What is strange about that?
I happen to know a hypnotherapist.
That's crazy. You do.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to do a plug right now?
We could do that. It's my mother.
Oh, wow.
Karen Perleone. She does hypnosis.
This is Perleone?
Yes.
Oh.
And I don't think she's doing it currently, but if she had a place, I would, mention it. But I think she's done for the moment.
I feel like you have to let that happen to you, though, right? Like you got
to be willing.
You have to be willing, and that's the thing. I don't know.
She has told me. Did not divulge any details or information about the person, but she
no
said
specifics.
None. She wouldn't, and it pissed me off, quite frankly.
Well, it's like it's a medical.
I know.
Right. Isn't there like an oath you have to take?
Confidentiality kind of a deal, right?
Yeah.
But anytime you're dealing with patients,
right? I understand it, but Ma, come on, it's me. And I'm not going to talk about it on a podcast.
That's good that she's not.
I know.
Even to you.
I know. That's kind of what I was getting at. But
it'd be kind of nice to know.
Around these here parts, East Tennessee, there's a few abduction people that have gone to be regressed to relive it and find out exactly what it is that's happening. So it's happening around here.
I'd like to talk to him. Can she at least?
Yeah, me too. You know what? Now that she's not practicing anymore, I'll ask her.
There you go.
Okay.
Dig in your files.
Loophole.
Yep.
Yeah, so like as far as these types of things, the paranormal. Okay, so I guess we're sort of talking this I don't know what you said. It's conspiracy. This isn't really conspiracy stuff. This is kind of off on its own.
Yeah,
conspiracy nowadays is sort of it's all political. It's what's happened, I guess.
It's the only thing that is now. It's every conspiracy that's all political. It used to be the good old days. It was about the skinwalkers and the
which is what we're talking about now, right?
Right. Yeah.
And how far
I hate
into
that's all
this?
political.
Yeah. How far into this stuff do you go? Bigfoot, things like that.
Right. More cryptid.
Yeah. As far as your beliefs go, we're talking ghosts now. We're talking shadow people.
Right.
How far into all of these other things do you go with your? Are you interested in?
Oh, very interested. I'll tell you what, the two biggest ones, the whole the Loch Ness Monster and the Bigfoot. I don't necessarily believe in Bigfoot, but I would not be surprised if later on they found one. It was like just subspecies of this orangutan they found in Brazil or something, and it made its way to. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they found one, but I don't necessarily believe, because there's been so many hoax. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't necessarily believe it. Loch Ness Monster, anything in the water, I feel like there's more, the giant squid, which they found, and, the Loch Ness Monster, which, depending on what you believe, was a 2010, the Japanese boat pulled that carcass up. It looked very much, it's just a shark. It's like, what shark has a neck like that and four fins? But like the Mothman, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm any kind of cryptid, I don't necessarily believe that it's for sure real, but I wouldn't be surprised if it came out to be real. Does that make sense? I know that's kind of a really political stance on that, but
sort of the Mulder stance of things. You want to believe.
Yeah, and
the truth is out there.
The truth is, dude, it really is, man. It really is.
Yeah.
So you're generally interested in all of these things.
Very interested. Like the
that's what's led you here today.
Yes.
Is the fact that you do have, you spend
Very
some
interested.
time reading up on these things.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Okay.
I love the folklore, the leprechauns, the gnomes. Man, that's gnomes. I didn't realize gnomes was like, not really America's, but pretty much the entirety of the European continent. Every single country has a gnome folklore. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And fairies is really big over there. In
Europe and
too,
it's kind of makes me believe, like, man, it can't be a coincidence. Like, or here's a better one. Dragons. That's around the world. Every continent, every country has some kind of dragon folklore. So at some point, I like to believe that had to exist.
A fire-breathing beast.
Maybe fire
breathing kind of.
Yeah.
But I mean, potentially, I guess. But
okay.
Yeah. But
you know what you're talking about.
And you can have the whole.
Well, like the serpent shows up everywhere, all over the world, in every sort of construction, carvings. There's a serpent. The serpent.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, and it goes through every epoch of time.
Yeah.
The serpent shows up.
Yeah.
I guess in some instances that could be taken as a dragon, possibly too.
Right.
The way there.
And that's I was gonna say there's a belief where dragon was just a term. It wasn't necessarily your winged fire breathing dragon. It was just a term for a quote unquote monster, like a big, prehistoric bird, dragon. It was a term given to something that was unknown monster.
Right. Not like what we're thinking of in terms today of
what Hollywood's done. Right. The big wings, fire breathing, raw.
Right.
Whatever. I mean, Alexander the Great had his scholar, his historian scholar that would write down. He made there's a certain note in India when he was expanding his empire. There's a specific note in the journal that his men were greatly afraid of the quote unquote dragons that lived in the caves. There were certain areas that they didn't want to conquer. They were forced to go and scout and do it anyway. But the men consistently complained about the great dragons that lived in these caves.
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
There you go. It's and you could speculate. It's what would they talk about? What is it? Was it an actual dragon? Was it just a Komodo dragon that was because those are not really dragons, but they're big monsters.
I know if you're talking about like two species. They think we had my friend Don Kevin Hunt who works at the zoo and has always been involved with animals. Lazarus taxon. I don't know if you listened to that episode, but.
Oh, wow.
That's species that they think have gone extinct or possibly have gone extinct and have miraculously returned. So maybe they weren't fully extinct.
Yeah.
Right.
And they had just, I guess, disappeared from the record. Nobody knew of them existing anywhere, but they were out there somewhere, and then they just show back up again one day. So like, but also the, what's the fish?
The coelacanth.
Coelacanth. I know.
Yes.
I know.
Excuse me. Whose podcast is this?
I'm so sorry, sir. I'm not trying to correct you meanly. I'm just saying.
All right, let me jot that note down. I'm going to erase that.
Right,
Hey,
the fish.
Hey, you're coming from the man that used to say Jenner, so it's okay.
Jenner.
Yeah. I had to be corrected on that for when I was early on dating. Like, what kind of... I was like, well, my favorite Jenner music is this. And she was like, what'd you say? I was like, Jenner music? And she's like, what's that? I was like, I rolled my eyes. We were driving. I was like, oh my God, it's a type of music, sweetheart. And she goes, do you mean genre? And my whole world collapsed. And I was like, ugh.
Sometimes those things happen,
Yeah.
So
okay.
I can't blame him. So I'm trying to be a friend. Coelacanth.
Huh. Okay.
I know.
Well, that's a good example, though.
Yeah.
Of these things that have disappeared or they thought had gone extinct.
Right. And then there it is.
Right. And if you're talking about Bigfoot or something like that, that's a vast area up there. It's massive.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think
it's possible.
It's Forrest. What's his name? The like Steve Irwin guy, but he's the Forrest. What's his name? I can't remember, but he's a wildlife guy. Been around the world finding all kinds of stuff, and he put it great. He's like, there's still so much uncharted, very remote pieces of land that
Les Stroud, was that his name?
The Survivor Man.
Yeah.
That guy. There's so much land that's so like even for a human so hard to get with modern technology. It's so remote that
I think he's even heard something that he
easily.
couldn't explain. He heard something that sounded like an ape one time. He was in Alaska. He talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what?
Now, I don't know if that was him just like trying to
bump up the show a little
drum
bit.
up some,
Yeah. Well, he had a whole show too, or an episode of it was just dedicated to him trying to recreate the circumstances up there in Alaska, and nothing happened, of course, but he was there. He said something was walking around his tent one night, and he said he could hear it. It was bipedal.
Right. You would be able to tell, I think.
And he said he slapped the side of his tent, and it just stopped and then ran off.
Huh.
And he heard like some hooting, like very great ape sounds.
It's those Inuit teens pulling a little prank on the white man.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
White devil.
You're from Idaho, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's close to that area.
That'd be fairly close.
The Pacific Northwest.
Is
it Pacific Northwest?
Yeah, Pacific Northwest. People call it the Midwest very incorrectly.
Yeah.
Idaho?
Yes. You're from the Midwest? Like, absolutely not. No, it's
What part of Idaho?
Pocatello. It's the southeast.
Oh, kind of the deserty area?
Yeah, more it's it's weird. Yeah, I'd say deserty, very sandy, rocky soil with the little tumbleweeds everywhere, but surrounded by mountains and everything like that too. Yeah.
I've been up to Coeur d'Alene before.
Oh, Coeur d'Alene's a beautiful place. I love it.
Been up there.
It'd be amazing to retire there. Absolutely,
it's lovely,
gorgeous.
And that's where Ruby Ridge happened up there in northern Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
If people are familiar with that little situation.
If you're not, read about it.
Yes. Maybe we'll do an episode on it
Please
sometime.
do. That'd be great. Please do.
Have you heard of it, Justin?
I've been
Jesus
to Ruby
Christ.
Falls. No, I've heard of Ruby Ridge.
Ruby
but
Falls?
You know me. I don't know any great details about it.
It's
My knowledge is
no
a mile
big deal.
wide, inch deep,
Just-
Ty.
No. Hey. We'll put a pin in it. It's all fine.
All right.
But yeah, it's
So you were living in more chupacabra territory rather than Bigfoot.
honestly where it was more Skinwalker, Slenderman.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's the Skinwalker areas out there.
Yes, it's
Which I'm not entirely familiar with all of that. So you're big on that, Justin.
Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty crazy. But
Everything is involved with that. That story
Yeah.
around the Skinwalker Ranch,
you name
which
it.
is not in Idaho, but in like Arizona or Utah.
I think it's Utah or Nevada. I can't remember. I think Utah. I think it's Utah.
But that region out there.
Right. Yeah. It's big out there.
And it
Skinwalker,
literally
Slenderman.
encompasses every Bigfoot, aliens,
Mhm.
Every
time
single
travel.
thing. Portals.
And yet
Insane.
there's
Insanity.
Reptilians.
Zero evidence
Yeah.
has been produced from this ranch, and they were talking about everything that's happened. Giant feral
Mhm.
beast cats and wolves and like all kinds
Yeah.
of crazy stuff, and yet nothing has ever surfaced.
Nope.
Not one piece of evidence, which is why I have a problem with that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same as well. I actually kind of feel bad for the family because they seem genuine, and I can't imagine being in their shoes, having all that and going, finally, we're going to have proof on video and people are going to come here, and it just goes quiet. All of it. That'd be so frustrating.
Have you guys ever heard of Stardust Ranch?
I have not.
Well, let me
Stardust
tell you,
Ranch.
it
Oh.
makes Skinwalker Ranch look
Like Dollywood.
God.
like Foreskin Walker Ranch. It is incredible. This guy moved into this house, and this guy, just like Skinwalker, it's got everything you can imagine.
Where's this at again?
Arizona.
Arizona.
I'm going to promote another podcast here, if that's all right. The Kryptonaut podcast. They just today released their Part 7 series. Part 7 so far. On it. But the guy that owned it, he moved. Long story, but gray aliens started abducting him to the point where he stumbles upon a katana sword and just starts slaying grays through his house. You were talking about seeing shit out of the corner of your eye?
Yeah.
He got to the point where he would see it out of the corner of his eye and just sling his sword in that direction and just start He just stabbed
Did he
him.
really say this?
Huh?
Did this guy really say this?
There's a book out. It's called Stardust Ranch, the amazing true story written by this guy who apparently just died. But
Convenient.
I will say you should go check out this podcast, Kryptonaut Podcast. It's
interesting.
very entertaining, if nothing else.
Wow.
A lot like the Montauk Project. Skinwalker Ranch is in the similar thing.
Right.
Familiar with the Montauk Project?
I've heard about it, but I've never really delve into it.
Don't
but
waste
I've
your
heard of
fucking
it.
time with it.
Oh no.
It's just another one of those kind of things.
Ah,
It's
okay,
a
all right.
government. You've seen Stranger Things?
Yes.
That's what it's based on.
Oh,
It's
okay.
entertaining.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
What do you think about Plum Island off of the Manhattan coast? It's
what
really
happened there? Refresh my memory.
Lyme disease is
Oh,
said to
okay.
come from there because it's not a
Oh,
natural.
it's like a laboratory sort of a situation.
Yeah, where they were doing like cloning.
Fort
weird,
Detrick is another one where they supposedly have a lot of
weird
anthrax
stuff
and
going
things
on.
like that, yeah.
Yes, very weird stuff. They all say that's where the I forgot what it's called, but it's here. It's here at the Lone Star tick where you looked at red meat. Another thing that came from there, a man-made disease.
Really?
Yes.
Never heard that.
You never heard that?
No.
I think
Dude,
there's lots of those. I think that's
it's insanity.
absolutely legitimate. That
It's-
there's most of these things. There's a great number of things happening now that are just being produced in laboratories.
Yeah, absolutely. Who cares? Yeah,
Send 'em
I mean,
out.
cloning's been a part of the thing for 30 years.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, we're seeing some of it in the government right now. But,
Bang.
Why? Whatever do you mean?
hell, top of my head, Biden, Fetterman. Have you seen those motherfuckers?
I have. Yeah.
Jesus,
I'm familiar
Murphy.
with this. Yeah.
Biden 1, 2, 3, and 4, and Fetterman 2.0. My God. But hey, we'll say that for another subject there.
No. Go into it. This is why we're
I mean,
here.
I don't know. It just seems weird. I don't know too much about it, but it just seems weird how. I mean, most recently, Fetterman he did that little drive around down the southwest. He left with a full beard, or no, he left with a mustache, much like yours, Josh. Magnificent.
It's okay, but it's not
Five hour drive. Beard bigger than Justin's. How the hell did that happen? That man must have.
I'm not
great
familiar
genes.
with this. I'm
He
not
might
familiar
have
with
great-
I
this.
haven't heard this either.
It's very recent, and so it's very new, and people are kind of flipping the shit about it. But the biggest thing for me is, you can look at people. People aren't dumb. You could look at the pictures of it, and the head shape's weird. The nose is different. His eyes are
He
different.
did used to have that real sort of Cro-Magnon brow that seems to have
Very
receded back into the...
Yeah, but now it's just weird. Like Biden's another great example. If you go back to the 80s Biden, it's detached earlobes. He's got it's a different facial structure, different signature. Now he's got attached earlobes. It's just weird. The face masks these people are fucking wearing, these skin masks that people are wearing, the one from Nancy Pelosi, you can see like the part of her eye. It's just a very obvious gap in the eye. It's like, who the hell's under that? What is happening right now?
See the video of Britney Spears where she's talking about whatever the hell she's talking about, but at the very end, like you can see like the deep fake just kind of go off her face for a split second. Like it's not really her.
There
That's
you
the
go.
big
Deep
conspiracy.
fake.
Which we knew that was going to be a thing once we started seeing those
Yeah.
pop up. Like,
When
it's going
I-
to be so easy to,
to fake
so easy now.
anything.
Yeah, anything now.
What scared me is it's on Netflix. It's all right movie. It's the Red Notice with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Ryan Reynolds. That's an okay movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But they kind of make a joke about that, the deep fake in that movie. They're on the plane, and Ryan Reynolds is kind of fucking around on the iPad. He's like, "Hey, look at this! I made you look like what I can't remember exactly the bit, but he's like, look at this! It's a deep fake." I remember pausing that movie, looking over at my fiance, going, "Oh my God, we're fucked. That's insane. That's real, and that's how." And you want to mention programming?
Right?
That's how they program you, Josh. You get it. You put it in a funny movie and go, "Oh, that's so funny, ha ha ha." And then they just do it in front of you with everything else, and you never think about it. You make it normal.
Predictive programming.
Exactly.
Specifically.
You make it normal, and you couldn't do that 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you showed that somebody, it would blow people's mind. That's insane. It'd be riots in the streets, but you do it in a funny little way. You make it normal, and then no one thinks about it ever again. No one wants to think about it ever again. It's like, no, that can't happen. No, it is happening. It's insane. It's insanity.
Kind of along those same lines is, and you can find it online pretty easy. You can just search up like the, I think it's like Department of Defense list of movies that this is just like a PDF that they've released. I got probably Freedom of Information Act released at some point, but it's a long list. It's like 8 pages or something. These are all the movies that the Defense Department have helped budget or had some hand in.
I remember you sent that to me.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen that or not.
I've not. That's interesting.
I'll send that to you afterwards.
Yeah.
So it's because it's not, well, obviously you're going to have like a lot of military movies.
Right.
Which are obviously predictive programming. They're just trying to get everybody on the same side here.
Rah, war, let's go to it.
Right.
Yep.
It gets guys in there to the intake office so they sign up and want to be a Marine.
Yep.
Cannon fodder, right?
Got me. Hell.
Right.
Thank God I failed, but because I'm a puss. But, You're
not. Don't say that. Don't ever say that.
That's not your fault.
It wasn't meant to be, okay?
That's fine. It just, I think what bothered me was when I got back home, how everybody was so excited and happy. I was like, damn, y'all can't pretend you're upset for me? All right. Like, my mom was just, like, so relieved. I was like, wow, you could.
Oh, they were, yeah.
It was like a little too excited that I failed. It's like, well, damn. All right. Like,
yeah.
I mean, whatever. It's the parents, I guess. But
so how long into it before you were 86th, before they gave you the kibosh?
I got 2 weeks in.
The
second week, it started. My husband started getting, and I'd never seen it this bad either. It was like from my wrist to my elbow, and then the entire back of my leg. Like, my drill sergeant got pissed. He thought it was a staph infection.
It was eczema.
It was just eczema. And my recruiter kind of told me, he was like, it's not that bad. Say it's dry skin, you'll be fine. I was like, all right. But I didn't know. I did not expect it to get that. It's never been that bad.
I think this was some sort of a stress response, probably.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I looked up online. It was changing. It was a drier environment, very stressed. It's a different life routine, so it kind of exploded. But yeah, I just.
So the programming worked. They got you. They got you in there.
But you got out. You want to hear something really scary?
Yep.
Still have it in this right wrist right here. It went away. Don't know what's in there. There was it was like the day, maybe fourth day, where they finally let us sleep for the first time, and we're in the medical bay, and it's all the Navy officers, and you're getting your shots. You're getting like your. You
know what all those shots are that they're giving you?
They told you everything but one. So there was what was called a peanut butter shot that you got in your ass, and that was, it is the only thing I could think of that it was to prevent it. Like, didn't kill your hormones, but it targeted. I'm not educated, so your horniness, if you will. So
knocks it down, so you're not.
You couldn't, like. I remember my buddies I was with. We tried it. We like theorized, like, let's see if we can. You can. That doesn't matter what you're shown, what you look at, how much you play with it. It will not get hard.
Play with it.
Oh yeah, like you're
Johnson.
You're Johnson.
Gotcha.
It will not salute at all. Won't do it. So I think that was a way to help maybe focus the mind, limit people. But you got your flu shot.
Kind of makes sense.
You got your flu shot. You got it was updated. Vaccines, whatever. But there was one they didn't really explain. It was the very last one you got on the way out the door.
What?
There was one last one you got on the way out the door.
One leaving? As you were leaving?
As you were walking out. You'd been there for 2 hours. You got 2 shots in the ass. You got 3 in the arm, right?
That seems like a lot.
It's a lot. You're walking out the door, and it's a naval officer. Hold out your right wrist. You do it, and it got inserted right below the wrist line. Ice cold, icy. Created a little bubble, and we were told, don't touch it, don't scratch it. Okay. I mean, in your government property, you sign your rights away when you join the military. You are not a citizen anymore. You are a government property dog. That's the contract you sign. So you don't get to ask questions. You don't have that right anymore. So it's like, okay, well, of course it fucking itched so bad, right? And all we did was touch it because it was like this bubble, like about a dime-sized bubble on your wrist. It was just weird. And it kind of faded, it went away after a couple of days, but to this day, I have no idea what the hell that was. No clue. Government tracker, maybe nanobots, who fucking knows? But it
kind of sounds like it was some sort of a shot for what do they test people for? Like your allergic reaction to things, allergies. Sometimes they give you this.
But usually that's like on the back.
Yeah, it's not the right location.
You get like 20 of them.
Yeah, it's not just one needle.
Right, but it was icy cold.
The needle was cold, or what they put in was cold?
The liquid itself.
The substance itself.
The substance was ice cold, and of course it bothered. Like, don't touch it, don't scratch it. Well, the first thing you do when you walk outside, it's like, God, this thing fucking itches, right? And it was like this bubble, and it was very, very strange. To this day, I have no idea, but seemed pretty normal. I don't know.
Yeah.
Alive, so wasn't deadly.
It's and I wonder if there are more. I guess there are more because I remember there was they gave all those shots and various medications for it was the Gulf War syndrome, right? Wasn't that the early 90s when they went over there and they thought they may be attacked by some sort of biological agent. So they gave tons and tons of shots prior to, everybody going over there. And of course, people got really, really sick from all those things. We have a reason to be concerned about vaccines and things now in the present day, in the current era.
Exactly.
In the past 30 years, we have reason to be concerned about these things.
Yes, exactly. And the biggest thing I've not really fought, but with people, but fought the idea of is like, and I feel like maybe, I know my dad is, and you might as well be. It's not that I'm anti-vax, just anti-COVID vax or anti-experimental vax. I'm not anti-polio vax. I'm not anti-measles vax. I'm not anti shit. What's your thing that you get if a rust gets in you? What's that? Tetanus. Tetanus. I'm not against those vaccines. They're tried and true. They're proven. It's anti-experimental. Seemed pretty convenient. You had it ready to go of this surprise disease, and yet surprise, surprise. Here's the solution for it. Well,
hasn't really panned out for them.
No, not at all.
If you've been paying attention to the news, cardiac arrest happening.
Yes, and I make clear to the listeners here, I'm not, I'm not attacking y'all. Just if you got it, I pray for you. That sucks. My fiance took it. I told her not to. I told her I really don't want you taking this.
She have to because of work or something, I guess. Right?
Well, her parents they're elderly, and they were going to go visit family out west during that time.
Oh.
And her parents pressured her, and I told her, I was like, I'd really like you to not get it. And I told her my concerns, and she was like, well, I have to. Cause I was like, all right, that's fine. So all you can do is just pray, and I'm not going to, control anybody. You're an adult, do what you want to do, think is right. But it's, and not everybody did, I know a lot of people died, but there's still plenty of people. I think the issue is it's the multiple. It was the people that went back and got the other one and then went back and got a booster. I think that was the issue. It's like you take one, all right, you're fine. Your body's very resilient. Our bodies are amazing at what they can do. Our regenerative properties are insane. What we can survive is still insane.
They came out with this thing in like 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, absolutely. What? And you want us to? It's fear. And it was fear. They used the fear.
Right. It was
fear driven.
It was palpable.
Yeah.
You were being bullied into things.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to be bullied into anything. I know too much about this shit to let these.
Or my personal favorite was it McDonald's. It's like, get your vaccine. We'll give you a coupon for a double Big Mac and all that stuff. Yeah. It was like, man, you're really trying to push this. That's weird. I never got a free fucking cheeseburger when I went to get a flu shot. What is that?
Right. Why are they trying to? Yeah, was it the mayor of New York?
De Blasio?
Is that who it was? The burger and the fries.
Yeah.
There's a burger element. Wait a minute. You're telling me there's a burger element to this?
He started with the fries.
Ridiculous. Yeah, he's chewing on fries, and then it's 11. Can I have a burger now?
I don't understand people that just like I don't know, man. The two-party system, the whole thing. People are still into this shit. They still buy it.
No, and dude, I remember being. I know it's been two parties for a while, but like the first year, it's been forever. Damn,
it's always been two parties.
That's insanity. I feel like even with the two parties, I feel like the very first time I voted was the 2012 election when it was Obama, Huckabee, McCain, or no, it was 2012. I remember watching TV. My parents made me watch TV which was fine. Dude, there was 9, 10 people to choose from. It was a huge selection. That ballot was a full page of different people.
It's all theatrics.
Now it's 4. Now it gets down to like 2. It's like, what is that? That is it. South Park did it the best. It's turd sandwich or a douchebag. It's like, damn. How about neither?
I voted once. Have you ever voted?
Yeah, I was.
When you were pressured by the parents, probably when you were
turned 18? I was definitely pressured. I don't want to name any names, but I was pressured into it, and I was sent in with a child to monitor my voting.
Okay,
that's tragic.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
Otherwise, I never would have taken the time to waste. It's a ridiculous. You know that
it's absurd.
It's a ridiculous thing to do,
and it's terrible because
it's opera.
You should be able to vote. I mean, be able to vote for your elected leader is fantastic, but none of it's going to be this forced monopoly of, well...
Are you a Trumper? Be honest. And away we go here.
Only because but here's the thing. I would be a Trumper for any other candidate that was doing what he was doing. So if it was, Johnny Goodman, I'd be a Goodmaner. It doesn't matter. But it's just the fact that it is Trump. I think my personal fear is that because things are so tense already, and we all know this next election is gonna, if they don't steal it again, it's going to go red for sure. And if it's not Trump, it's going to be some Republican's going to win. My fear is that if Trump wins, that's going to cause absolute mayhem. It's going to be like nobody can take the loss anymore. No one can go, oh shucks, well, we'll get it next. We'll get it next 4 years. We'll get it next 4 years. Instead, it's like
you
it's
still believe in the system. My question to further elaborate on where I'm going with this.
I like to believe the system. I want, because it had to work at some point. It did for a little bit until it got, a car works until you start fucking around with it, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore. So I feel like it's.
At what point do you think it went astray? When it didn't, when it was no longer.
I'm sure before I was born. I'm sure back in like the 70s and 80s.
We actually go and cast our vote for somebody,
and it actually works.
Right.
It's not,
it actually gets counted and all that stuff.
I believe that probably started right when I was born, probably 90s. I would assume. I don't know. And like it's
just kind of like
it's just
thinking
it's just catching them now. I think the issue is it's probably been going on for a while, but not this blatant out in the open. And
because what are we going to do? What are you going to do, Justin? What am I going to do?
Yeah, that's my whole thing always. Like, what can you do?
What is Thailand
the only
going to do?
Nailed it.
I think the only thing is, once again, we can use one of our other God-given rights. What makes this country so fucking great, unlike the rest of the world, is that we can have a voice and we can go complain about it, in the right way.
Like right here.
Right. Well, I mean, like more like outside the government building. You could protest, but not violently. It's the violence is the issue. It's the aggressiveness is the issue. You can
January 6th. Did you go?
No.
Were you there in spirit?
I was. No. Hey, I was with you changing fireplaces out Blackberry on the newspaper.
Would you have gone?
That's true.
I don't know. It's really expensive. I don't know. I don't think I would have.
But you agreed with it.
I agreed
with what they did.
Not. Well, if we're going to get into this.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
That's why we're here.
Open minds, open lines.
I say we, as in anybody that would agree with me. I'm not going to call you guys out. But I think enough has come out about it now. Anybody that believes that was a true insurrection, you're just...
They got played.
You're blind. You're blind. Yes, I think...
There's a bunch of dummies that got played.
The second I heard that they entered the Capitol... I told you this, Justin. I was like, anybody could have seen that was a trap.
It was a trap.
What are y'all doing? There's rules. What the hell is going on? Like, I would have never went. I mean, maybe I would have been there, but never entered the Capitol. That's insane. You're trespassing. What is that going on? You were well within your rights outside the grounds, protesting your voice. That's constitutional. That's in your right. The second you trespass onto that property, it's over. That anybody saw that was a trap. Yeah. They're letting them in. Enough stuff's come out about it now that it was a setup. The people that fell for it, I feel bad for, because I know that emotions were high, tensions were high, but
they got played.
And it became violent. And it wasn't even violent. It really wasn't. It was the FBI informants that were violent. It was the people that were planted there that were violent. They wanted it to be violent because violence gives the excuse for tighter rules, tighter laws. The government could be more aggressive, right?
COINTELPRO.
The government can't come at you super aggressive because that's tyranny. It's very open tyranny. It's like, no, they won't win like that. They have to make you throw the first punch. You, if I can quote Rambo, you need to draw the first blood. Then they can retaliate. Right?
You may quote first blood and Rambo and anyone else.
But it's I think that was a mistake. I was like, damn, that's tragic. And I kind of felt there was something going to be weird with that. It just, the second they entered in and those dumbasses that started taking stuff and not all of them were. I mean, a lot of them were very respectful, whatever. But some people that started like kind of touching stuff and moving stuff and knocking stuff over. It's like, you guys are retarded. What is going on?
Right.
Y'all don't see that? Like y'all should have, But I could sit here and say that. I'm like I said, well, I wasn't there. But
have you heard of COINTELPRO? I said COINTELPRO.
I don't want to sound stupid, but I have not.
No, it's okay. We're here to learn.
Is that
so.
quid pro quo?
No.
Nope.
No,
Okay.
it was an operation run by the FBI back in I guess it started in the 60s, and that was to infiltrate civil liberties groups so they could break them up. It's exactly what you're talking about.
Interesting.
So it has a name, is my point here.
Okay.
So read up on COINTELPRO.
I shall.
Yeah, and it's interesting, too. The guy that was, what was it, Woodward and Bernstein, which was the whole, what was the thing? Woodward and Bernstein, the stupid planting mics in the office of the Democratic National.
Right. Okay.
What was that stupid thing?
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about.
Right.
But I don't
Well, the
know.
guy that was Deep Throat, the guy that was supposed to be feeding them this information about all this that had gone down, was Richard Helms goes in there and all these guys. That was the guy that was head of COINTELPRO. So now they're looking back on this whole thing like COINTELPRO was basically, or Woodward and Bernstein and their little breaking of the, what the hell was that called? Jesus.
Yeah, look
Help
it
me
up.
out here, bro.
I don't know. I should have been looking it up. I should have. I apologize.
The fact is that it's okay to be a conspiracy theorist. That means you're critically thinking. You're not crazy. The fact that you're even
Watergate.
Thinking, oh, it's Watergate. I've heard that. Okay. Yeah,
That's
wow.
what that was.
It's Watergate, dude.
I
Come on.
never would have expected Watergate.
You have to.
I thought that was Nixon, isn't it?
So yeah, it was Nixon's
Yeah.
thing. That was what they I guess impeached him for or whatever. But look, we're constantly dealing with information here, and
Yeah.
there's so much all the time. Sometimes we forget the names of things. It's okay.
Yeah. There's a
Watergate.
lot of info. Yep, Watergate.
Deep Throat was the guy that was head of COINTELPRO, and the whole point of that program was so that they could infiltrate groups, very much like they do now.
Mm-hmm.
So all these groups, people think they join a group on Facebook, the Patriots,
Yeah.
right?
It's a.
The Trump whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The groups are all infiltrated by feds, by CIA, probably NSA.
It's to
There's
trap
all-
people. Yeah.
Right, it's to entrap people. That's all that is. That's what Ruby Ridge was too. That was an FBI informant. Got the guy to buy that, to make that sawed-off shotgun or whatever.
Yep. Could be-
They just entrap you.
Yep.
So
Absolutely. They take. It's tragic.
couldn't
That's what it
believe.
is.
Forgot Watergate.
It's
The
all
hell
right.
kind of conspiracy theorist am I?
You rarely forget shit. I forget shit all the time.
Can you fix that? Can you edit that later?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There'll be no
Sure.
editing to this show.
Never. Very rarely.
Yeah, it's not much, but yeah. So read up on that sometime when you get a chance. It's fascinating, and the only reason they know about that is because a group of people broke into an FBI office, like in Pennsylvania or something, and just took a bunch of documents. You know how much I love documents.
Mm-hmm.
They took those documents.
You're a document guy.
They had no idea this operation was going, and I think this happened in the late 70s or early 80s. They had no idea this was going on for decades, that all these groups were infiltrated by feds. And, of course, it's real easy to get somebody, turn them over.
Oh, yeah.
It's, get you. They threaten to throw your soon-to-be wife in jail or something
to
like
control you.
that. To control you. Very easy, right.
Go circle back to what you question. How long has this been going on? Well, clearly a very long time. It's just now it's very out in the open now. Our politics have been corrupted since clearly the 70s and 60s.
I'd say
It's-
right about that time
it's
JFK
sad.
got his head blown off is
Yeah.
probably when we're like, wait a minute.
Well, yeah, because he cracked the pickle jar. He almost had that lid off.
Something's going on here.
It's a little weird.
His brother was going to run, and then next thing you know, he's dead too. A few years later.
Well, that's a coincidence.
Right.
Gosh, come on.
You're right. Just a crazy
Hey,
conspiracy theorist.
Just stop thinking. Don't think about it.
You're right.
Is his nephew?
I'm going to go join the Marines right now.
You have eczema?
I do not.
Okay, you're in.
There you go.
then.
You're
I'm
in.
clean.
There you go.
Perfect. Not a drip.
Not a drip.
drip.
Is Robert
Okay, we
Kennedy still going? I haven't heard anything from him in a while. His nephew? JFK's nephew?
Robert Kennedy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As far as I know, he is.
He's kinda
Okay.
fell out.
I just
Okay,
he was all
I kinda
the
heard
rage
it.
for a couple weeks there, and then I haven't heard a thing since.
Yeah.
But there's no the Kennedy legacy. There is no. He can't it's just lip service. He's not doing anything. He's not going to be able to do anything.
No, he's exactly.
What is one guy? It's that thing I've brought up so many times. It's that savior complex we have in the U.S. where somebody is a messiah is coming to save us. He's just around the corner.
Yep.
Whether it be Trump or
Robert Kennedy,
RFK, right?
DeSantis, or whoever. It's
they think one person, and that's what I think they want you to do. They want you to think it's one person.
Josh,
you don't have any power.
You are talking my language, yes. Because what was it? Was it George Washington all by himself did found this country and fought the war? He was the only one, right? He was the one Messiah. No, absolutely not. It was John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin. It was a team of people.
Right.
Team. It was a bunch of people got together to do it. There's a reason why, folks. There's a reason why Superman and Batman are comics. They're fictional characters because one man can't do it all. You can't. You just can't. You can't. No matter how you can be a great leader, but a general. I don't care who you are. A general's worthless without an army. You can't do it. You just can't. But and that's another reason why they want control. They want They want the army to sit and wait. Don't do nothing. Don't worry. The right person will come along. He'll do everything for you. Don't worry about it. Just keep waiting. Just keep paying your taxes. And just keep sitting there and wait.
There's all the slacktivism, which is what you hate.
Hate that. Are you familiar with the term slacktivism?
Slacktivism.
It's when you see, for instance, a Ukraine flag bumper sticker on a car, and that person's not doing a fucking thing to help Ukraine, but they just put a bumper sticker or a flag in their yard.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in the United States.
Slacktivism. I like that.
Yeah. I hate it.
Because we don't, I don't know. We have no power, so.
I see. That's where I think we're wrong. You
have the perception of it.
You're
not going to do shit. He's not. I'm not. Neither one of us are. Except we can talk about it and read up on it.
We can talk about it, but I feel like at the moment, no. But that's where I feel like a lot of people get the idea wrong. It's like we do, but yet we believe we don't. Just because, well, what are we going to do?
We're too factioned.
We're too right. It's so, and that's what it's so divided. We're so no one can have
divide and conquer.
It's so
divide and rule.
There you go. It's
worked for thousands of years.
Yes.
It's continuing to work today. I was reading something on the Crusades recently. That is the funniest shit. The
Crusades?
The Crusades.
They're hilarious?
They're hilarious to me. Because there's
please
just some popes hey, if all your earthly penance will be if you just go and take back Jerusalem. By the way, we're not going to pay you shit. You're not getting paid to do this.
Well, you get paid in the afterlife.
Right. By getting to go.
There you go.
So, but you still have to pay us, by the way.
Right, by the way. So, serve your life to me only. Yeah. And, yep. Hell, that's what a little fun fact for you. It was from the Crusades. I can't remember the exact general's name.
I should think you would be well-versed in knowing about the Crusades. I don't know why.
Not well-versed, but it's random facts.
Yeah.
I'm random, but the phrase, and not used a lot in today's times, but kill them all, let God sort them out, was from a crusader. When they coded the quote-unquote savages, the barbarians, the heathens, right? When they were just peasants, not really anything threat. They were told, fight the army, take the women and children, this stuff. Well, this certain general didn't really like time wasting, more efficient. And he was famous for saying, kill them all and let God sort them out. So killing heathens and innocents alike. And we'll just let God sort them out. It's fine. We'll just kill them all. I'm not going to waste my time interviewing each person. Are you a heathen? Do you believe in God? And because they were supposed to do that. They were supposed to go door to door. Hey, we're looking for heathens. Do you believe in God? And whatever. He's
yes.
I ain't doing that. He would slaughter, burn villages to the ground.
Yeah.
I had no idea that came from the Crusades.
Allegedly.
Okay.
I want to tell any tales out of school here.
Caveat there. May or may not have happened.
Yeah.
But that's a good example of using propaganda.
Yeah.
And, just talking a bunch of shit and getting everybody all worked up in this religious fervor to go and do something just because. I'm going to get into the whole Roman Catholic thing. It's funny as hell to me. It's a giant Scientology cult too, but without the aliens, of course.
Right.
But it's the same sort of you have to hand over your W-2 to ensure you're giving your right amount of...
that blows my mind. You owe us money, but we're not going to tell you how much. You have to calculate that yourself. And if you're wrong, I'll pray for you. It sucks. Well, why not just tell me? What business do you go to?
Why do you have to go through somebody to? I don't understand that either.
Why don't you just tell me how much I owe and I'll pay you that? Why do I have to figure it out on an educated guess and then pray to God I'm right? Because if I'm not, then you're really screwed.
You're Italian, right? So you're not Catholic though.
I was raised Catholic.
You were raised Catholic?
Yes, but East Tennessee Catholic, which is a totally different type
really
of Catholic.
count.
Yeah, it's not a real.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why? But you have to go through an intermediary to speak to the holy.
Right.
Why?
Is that that box? Is that you're in the box and you have to?
It's just
you're
the
talking
fact
about confession?
Not just confession, but like
okay.
The fact that you have to talk to somebody else. Like,
yeah,
if you were a Catholic priest, you have some divine ability. So I talk to you, and then you pass the message on, right? Kind of a thing.
Yeah,
that seems kind of a lot.
Right. But originally, if you go back thousands of years, it makes sense because now they have all of this control and power, and they can pump you full of fear.
Right.
So I've been to Italy, and I've been in a few of those cathedrals over there, and you notice when you walk in. That was my first thing. So I don't know if I was the only one that noticed this, but you just notice, okay, so yes, I can appreciate the artistry and the engineering, the feat of engineering that it was to construct all of the fantastic, beautiful.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's great. It's wonderful. Right. But then at the same time, it's all of these giant sculptures. Everything's looking down on you, right? Mm-hmm. I mentioned that to you before, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Going to your homeland over there and
homeland.
I mean,
the motherland.
The motherland.
Yeah, there's a lot of judgment and guilt.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
And they have designed these cathedrals. Everyone I walked in was designed the same way. You walk in and you feel insignificant. You feel like nothing. Of course, I had to bring this point up, and I had to drive it home. At the time when I was the girl I was dating, which doesn't make for a good because you're on kind of a vacation. So you don't want to talk about that a lot.
Right, yeah.
You want to be, it's amazing.
It's amazing,
great.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't like that.
This freaking sucks.
This
is stupid.
You like that,
do
you?
Just
pointing
you like
it
the
out.
way
Those look, do you? Oh, let me tell you something. And then you just go off on
Yeah, you think that's beautiful? Well, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
But you can certainly feel like you're made to feel insignificant, when you go in those places because they're so grand and so large and everything's kind of looking down on you.
Right.
Even they're sculpted in such a way that they're looking down on you, and the looks on their faces, everything about it.
And you get usually the bloody crucified Jesus up there behind the altar. It's like
it's a terrifying. The whole thing
is scary.
Is,
yeah.
And I'll tell you what, the Bible says it's not. You shouldn't make sculptures or representations of that, and that's where I think I disagree with it. It's people want, because we're earthly beings, we need humans themselves. We need to see it, touch it, listen to it, sometimes taste it, to know that it's real. and if it's not, that's what it's so hard to do that. So it makes me kind of uncomfortable seeing that bloody crucifix or seeing the Virgin Mary in a sculpture. It's just like, man, that's not really biblical. You're supposed to just. I think it's the beautiful thing of faith or the religion itself. It's just have that faith. You don't. But I agree with you. It's all to control. It's to make you feel insignificant, which, depending on how you believe, we are compared to that higher power. But it's taking that and you're twisting it. You're twisting it to. You shouldn't be necessarily scared, right? To ask for forgiveness or to go praise in the way you want to, out of fear of going to hell or out of fear of being chastised by your family members. You should want to go because you want to go. And I think that's a good point, that if it's designed to make you, it's control fear. You better be here or else. You better pray or else.
I guess that was the point of the Reformation then at that time period with what's his name, right? He showed up in Italy or Rome and he was like, "What the hell?"
Is that the guy that nailed the 12? The monk, is that
the monk? Yeah, the German.
I can't remember his name. I'm shitty, but he nailed it on the front door, like the Reformation, 12 points or whatever. Like, you shouldn't have to feel this way, and it got him.
Well, he saw the opulence that the priests, the churches, the magnificent cathedrals. He saw the opulence of what they were living in, and what they were doing, and how they were doing it. And He was like, I don't think this is right.
No.
So he kind of started some shit.
Had to go in there and wreck it for all those nice priests.
I know.
Those nice priests.
Yeah, they had a good thing going.
Banging all them
And
kids.
to be fair, it probably
yeah,
worked.
still going.
People didn't know how to read. A lot of people
That's
didn't know
right,
how to
they
read
are.
back then. So it's easy.
Right.
Easy to control. It's like, well, God said if you don't pay this tithe, you're going to hell. And they go, oh, shit, I got no choice.
I need 20%
I
right
need
today.
I got today. Right, today. Like, oh, God. Well, hell, I can't go. You can't, they weren't fact-checking the priest.
Yeah. What's it? This might be a dumb question. I've never seen the inside
No such
of
thing.
a Jew church.
A synagogue?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
What
church are
what
funny.
does it look like compared to a Catholic church?
Well, it depends.
Is it as frightening?
Honestly, it's as frightening. There's definitely not. Like I mentioned the sculptures. Not a lot of sculptures because you have they're more. You have Judaism. It's a lot more Old Testament-y. You have the Christians, the Baptists, your Catholics, very New Testament based. Judaism's more Old Testament based. Old Testament based with New Testament references, if that makes sense. While Christianity, Catholic, it's New Testament based with Old Testament references. So you're not going to have a lot of sculptures or idols, and that you'll have the stained glass, the beautiful stained glass. It might depict, Jesus and his disciples in the garden, or it's going to depict Virgin Mary, but not actual sculptures. That's technically an idol. That's no, right?
I've been in one synagogue.
Here? East Tennessee region?
No.
Savannah, Georgia?
Curacao.
Curacao.
The island of Curacao.
Where's that?
I went into a synagogue. It's off the coast of Venezuela.
Oh,
South
wow,
America.
Wow, that's not
How
what I thought you
was
were
it?
going to say. Wow.
There's one synagogue there.
Wow.
Did you ruin that person's vacation too that you were with?
Here's some fun facts for you.
Same person.
Okay.
Same person.
And yes.
She was ready.
I had to put on the little hat to go in. They wouldn't let me in unless I put on the little.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it was weird.
Do they have
What is the point of that again?
It's the way I understand it. It's a kippur or a yarmulke, depending on where you're from.
Right?
And it's kind of like
You wear that?
When I was a little kid, yeah, but it's not really important to the religion. In my point of view, it's just kind of like
My stupid question. You wear that thing?
it's
You wear that damn thing?
kind of it's just like a I don't want to say accessory, but like it's
like rosary beads? Kinda
there
like
you
the
go.
same
Right,
kinda-
you can if you want to, but it's not. Again, my personal opinion, point of view, it's not so important that you have to wear it in order to.
Did you take it off right before you got in here today?
No, yeah, it's actually right by the.
You left
by the
it
door, yeah.
outside?
It's under the doormat. Yeah,
This is an
Yeah.
unholy place.
In the synagogues, do they have you are not Jewish, Josh? You didn't have one. Do they have is like an umbrella thing? You just grab some and we just can borrow it. Take it
honestly,
as you need?
I would go ahead and say
Who
with
gave
confidence. I'm sure they have to. I'm sure they do. Because
It was a container of them.
there you go.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it
they
wasn't
probably-
just like, can I please go in here? Here's your
yarmulke.
little hat. Wear it.
Yeah.
They just had them.
They were just
like
sitting there.
loner yarmulkes.
And other people were in there. This was a historic synagogue, so tourists. And every guy had one on, so I did it too. I will never give in and do that again ever rest of my life.
Well, there's one in Savannah, Georgia that I went to with my fiance, and it was very historic. It was one of the first. I think the very first synagogue is like somewhere in New York somewhere, but this is like the second oldest in this country, in Savannah, Georgia. They didn't make you put one on. They give tours all the time. They make you put one on. But like I said, I don't know if I agree with that. That's kind of, it'd be like if you go to a Catholic church and they force you to wear the rosary beads and here's your incense handle. It's like, all right, that's kind of weird, but all right.
And to be clear, so we're talking about Judaism here.
Yeah.
Your ancestry, you're of Irish. You have
Descent.
red hair. You're mostly
red hair.
pale.
Yeah, very pale.
Auburn.
Strawberry blonde.
Strawberry blonde. You have freckles?
I'll take it.
Do I see some freckles on there?
Honestly, I don't have.
That's
a lot-
eczema.
That's the
Hey,
eczema.
not on my face, you asshole. But I'm not freckly.
You're a convert.
I have freckles, but I'm not freckly. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I got one on my arm. I got one on my leg.
I got a
one
couple
on-
too.
Nothing crazy.
Nothing. Yeah, I'm not like I'm not a true ginger.
Yeah.
But
You
Pretty darn close.
yeah.
what were you before you converted
What was your
to Judaism?
converted
I
to Judaism?
Guess I guess Christian. I can't really remember. I was little. I mean, I know we went to church. We went to a church. I remember. I would say Christian. I think because I remember the church we went to, and it had the cross.
It was like a Baptist. Do you remember what that was at all?
It was in Indiana, so the only reason why I would probably say Christian, just because, or maybe Baptist. I don't know how far north is Baptist. Does that go pretty north above the Mason-Dixon line, or does that stay pretty below?
Mostly below, I would think.
That's what I think too. It could have been. I'll tell you, I can't really remember
what the severity of the Baptist church is above
what it was. Yeah,
it gets pretty crazy down here, pretty wild.
Yeah, it gets very intense.
Yeah, you've got your primitive Baptists and things like that, and
I got to tell you, I got a complaint with that department too.
This is a good place to air that complaint.
Listen, and if any listeners out there are Baptists, please help me understand this. Who is the First Baptist Church? Why the hell am I passing 3 First Baptist Church? What the hell is going on? There's no way that could be the First Baptist. Y'all can't be first. Somebody was first, or my misunderstanding is that the actual religion. Like, you have like
Probably.
Orthodox Jews, Messianic Jew. You have Baptist, First Baptist. Is that the differentiation?
What are you in your Judaism?
So it'd be Messianic, which is a fairly newer, I don't want to say spinoff, but branch of Judaism. Where
that works though. Spinoff works.
Spinoff, and the best way I can describe it,
it's an offshoot.
It's offshoot. It's the same tree, different branch.
Gotcha.
And the best way over the years I've when I talk to people, I can explain it, is it's a kosher Christian. Because I don't know if you know this, but traditional Judeo-Jews do not believe Jesus was the Messiah. That he was not the Son of God. He was a prophet.
He was a prophet, yeah.
We believe he was, which Christians do. And
that's a no-no.
Right. So we're kosher Christians. We do the Jewish beliefs. We eat kosher. We go to the synagogue, but we believe.
You go to a synagogue.
Used to when I was younger. I haven't been in one in a long time.
But you're a religious person.
Yeah, I'm religious.
But you don't go to church. A synagogue regularly.
No, I do not. But it's one of the things where my dad said it best when I was growing up.
Does he go regularly?
No, he does not.
What in the hell is going on here?
Well, I mean, we kind of, I grew up out of it, and you had all those shootings in 2013 of the synagogues. I don't know if you heard about that. It's kind of a hot button. And then today, right here, I mean, being a Jew is not really a fad right now. Very hot water with the whole.
Why is that?
Every single president since fucking Reagan's wore a kippah and kissed the fucking wall. What are you talking about? That's fucking insane. Jews rule the world. That's weird.
I don't want to get you kicked out.
Jews kicked out. But no, right? Am I wrong? Like, I mean, it's insane. Like, why does half of our cabinet have dual citizenship to Jewish?
Here we go. We go.
Why do they get a fucking wall? We don't. Why do they get to have their pure neighborhoods and their religious sacrament and their sovereignty, but we don't get to? That's what I'm saying. But here's the thing: before anybody flips their lid, I still believe it could have been anybody. It just happened to be the Jews. It could have been the Arabs. It could have been the Russians. It could have been the Frenchies. It could have been the Canadians, but it wasn't. It was the Jews. So we're just in this parallel universe where it's just the Jews doing it. It could have been anybody, but
I feel like we're somewhat okay talking about these things.
Yeah. Well,
that
you are not going to offend me, I promise.
A card-carrying Jewish person here.
We got one here.
We got one.
And
I've been accused of being one before. Did I tell you about that?
Really?
No.
Yeah. I didn't have the mustache.
What happened?
Honestly, it gives you a little more Canadian.
It's my profile. Sometimes my profile.
More Canadian.
I get that. California.
I see California.
Colorado.
Yeah, I see Colorado.
Canadian.
Honestly, I see more Canadian.
But I think it's something to do with my profile.
You got a profile?
Somewhat prominent.
I'm sitting on this side of you. I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
There.
Is it? If you think it's your nose, it's not. I can see. I can see where you think, but you're. It's pretty straight. You don't have that hook beak that a lot of people do.
My brother has the beginnings of it.
I thought,
it's rough.
Yeah, he's.
It's pretty straight. You're pretty pointy.
It's true.
Very Anglo-Saxon, if you will.
But to not know, I guess from the accusatory,
right?
Then you may assume otherwise. Which is fine. I have no problem with that.
Not at all. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I just did a quick Google, going back to Baptist real quick. I just Googled, what's the deal with First Baptist?
What's the deal with First Baptist? Yeah.
And it was pretty complicated, so I just Googled how many types of Baptists are there. 64
Jeebus
different
Murphy.
types of Baptists. That's a lot.
And
That's quite a few.
I
Yeah.
was raised Methodist, and there's lots of different Methodists, I think, too. There's
How do you
lots
get
of
meth
different.
out there.
What's that? Denominations and stuff that
What'd you say?
I didn't catch it either.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I could slip it in there. I said there's a lot of meth out there.
Oh, okay.
No, method. I'm
There's
sorry.
quite a
Terrible
few.
joke.
There's and of course they're always, very much like the Reformation. They're always splitting off and branching off. I think that may be also how you get a lot of firsts, because maybe they
I
stay
see.
under the umbrella of, right,
Okay.
the
yeah,
Baptist religion, or maybe even stay part of, but there's some sort of a faction that breaks off from this church to create another church.
Yeah. I see.
So there could be that too.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
So they're still part of the First Baptist, whatever it is, but they're a separate church because there was some sort of infighting,
Okay.
If you,
which happens a lot.
What else is it? I was about to say it happens a lot. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
there's the United Methodist, and then there's just a Methodist church. There's you could kind of say the corporate side of the Methodist
Mhm.
theology,
Yeah.
which is the United Methodist. And then under that is all of the United Methodist churches. But since sometimes they break away from that because they don't like where they're going with it,
Right.
and they just become a Methodist church. Anyway,
Anywho.
how do you pick if you weren't raised in a religion? You just got older. You're like, I'm gonna start. I want to join up
people just go around to churches. They just go to them.
just until they find one they like.
I've heard that. They just kind of they're maybe they were raised one way, they didn't, and then they took a break from religion, and they kind of want to go back. I'd say no problem with that interview.
Say a guy was a
Absolutely.
Lutheran.
Go to different.
And then he became an apostolic.
Ooh,
Because you get to they're all animated and screaming and yelling.
So I didn't know this. If you guys want to bullshit for a minute, I've got to go to the bathroom.
No, we're going to take a break. We can take a break.
Yeah, we'll take a little break,
I'm
Ski.
so sorry. Yeah.
No problem whatsoever.
Yeah, Ty is gonna go urinate,
And we're going to take a break.
and we're gonna line up right after him.
All
We'll
right.
be right
in
back.
one-
Thank you.
Okay.
There you have it.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed part one there. Interview with Tylen Black.
Interesting stuff.
A lot of fun.
All right. I'm just going to close us out here in the usual fashion.
Okay.
Please just go ahead, rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. Terribly Vexed Podcast across the board
Shoot us an email.
at terriblyvexed.com. You can send us a message from there. Look at our lovely Instagram account,
It's always fun.
past episodes. Everything's there.
Yeah.
Our cool new picture. I think that's the highlight of that website, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so that's it. And we will be back
For part two.
part 2 of this conversation next week, I guess, right? That's how the big boys do it, once a week.
Yeah.
All right. We will see you next week.
All right. We'll see you. Bye.